I first met Michael Patton now about 12 years ago, and I was running an evaluation department in a big foundation, and mentioned to Michael that we had a multi-site evaluation going of a youth violence initiative, youth violence prevention initiative. And Michael said, why are you evaluating it? And I was speechless. I had absolutely no idea why we were evaluating it, but I was ready to brag that we were doing it. So since then, one thing I've learned from Michael is to not do evaluation unless you know why you're doing it. And I've become most interested in evaluation, service of learning and improvement. That language is something you hear all over the country in philanthropy and nonprofits. You probably use it in your own organizations. And one of the really interesting things to do is to start to peel back. If you're committed to learning and improvement, are your behaviors lined up with that? How does learning and improvement really occur? And the reason that we are such fans of Georgia Family Connection Partnership is this network of networks, that learning occurs through networks. There are very few things you can learn all by yourself alone. So the presence of the network, which is an incredible asset in Georgia and something other states do not have, means you already are doing a lot of really sophisticated evaluation and may not be calling it that, and that's fine. You don't have to call it that. But this power of networks is really amazing. So a couple of other things to help you think about evidence over the next couple of days. You don't need to raise your hands. I don't know you well enough to ask you to do this publicly. But how many of you have made some decision about afterlife? What's going to happen when you pass? Whether there's a heaven or hell. Has anybody not made a decision? Has everybody made a decision? So you've all made a decision on that. What's going to happen for you in eternity on less evidence than we require of a $5,000 grant? You've made this massive decision because you're good at this stuff. We intuitively in our lives are smart about this. So another thing to think about, how many of you have packed the family into the car for the week-long vacation? Did you hire a consultant afterward to tell you if it worked or not? You adjusted along the way, right? You probably weren't out of the driveway 10 minutes and you had to adjust. And you adjusted based on feedback. You looked across the car and a spouse or partner gave an expression and you made an adjustment, right? Or you heard something in the back seat, or you looked down the road, or you heard the traffic report. All of these things are things that the reason you're here today and you're successful, flourishing adults is you're adaptive. That when you were 5 years old, they didn't give you a plan for the next 50 years, and you say, this is day 375, I do this. And somehow we suspend all of that when we get in our professional lives. And we're very thrilled that you guys are leading the way in Georgia on this, and I do mean leading the way. I can't speak with any authority. You're the first person to study developmental evaluation this way in Georgia, but I'm pretty sure you're the first group to do it with this level of intentionality with the networks in place to do this over a period of years. So we're thrilled. We know the rest of Georgia is going to be wanting to do what you do, and we thank Gay and her staff for making it happen. So thank you.